What's going on, everybody? It's your boy SoDebNair, and I am back with another video, y'all. This video is a little bit more serious because I do want to talk to you guys about some stuff that I've been seeing in the news about education. I seen a post on Instagram about a student who revealed that he graduated with straight F's and over 400 tardies this school year. Um, and it made me think about when I was talking about Haley Bailey, and reading her text messages the other day, and how sad it was that she wasn't spelling. And and I'm not going to even counter to the fact that maybe she couldn't spell. Maybe she was just so distraught that maybe she wasn't spelling words right because a lot of the letters are close to the letters that she was putting. But let's get into that in a minute. Um, if you have children or nieces, nephews, cousins, whatever it is, this is a video that I really want to talk about. I definitely want you guys to drop down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, and I want to brainstorm on what can we do for our youth if this is our future, because they're failing our little black babies. So let's get into that. But before we do that, let's take care of the business of this channel. If you want to join the nation, go ahead and turn on your notifications. Turn them on all so you get notified every time I go live or post a new video. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down in the comment section. This is a video I really want you guys to comment in the comment section, and share the video, okay? Let's play this intro and let's get into it. Let's go.
I'm fly, yes, I'm high, yes. Every wanna get to this guy, yes. Go out tonight, I just might, yes. Style cleaner than yours, so don't buy, yes. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair.
All right, and I am back. Okay, so if you guys were here yesterday, I was going over these text messages that Haley had text to DDG about her being in, basically, I think she went like a panic attack. She was having like crazy thoughts. I don't say crazy because that's not a good word. She was having thoughts that may make her unalive herself. I'll say that. They brought up a pow pow up in this conversation. The conversation was just nuts. But as I was going through this, I was just reading, and you guys can zoom. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. Let me see, does that show bigger on here? Okay, yeah, that looks a bit better. All right, I want to come down to like some of these texts that she was sending. All right, here it says, and RHN, I guess, when we about exchange my son in a money deal. I don't even know what this word is. SOEAK. I know this and when. I know this is and when. I can't tell you what SOEAK could be. She also, there was another part. I think it was up here. Right here. And you still play in my fave. I think she put and YKU, still playing my FAVE, which I think it was, and you still playing my face. There was more stuff that she had on here. But you guys can go on here. This is on complex.com and look at this. Or you can watch my video that I posted yesterday and look at it. But I want to get into this conversation with you guys because I just feel like right now we are in such a space right now where we need to be extremely cautious and careful about what's happening with our babies and our children in 2025. The way the education is set up right now, it is not good for these kids. These kids are coming to school, they're just passing, they're not doing anything. They're coming to school with IEPs, and some of them have 504s for behavior problems, and there's no work being done at all. I know there's a space, so I'm not blaming this on parents, where people can't afford to get the help that they need. But there are also people that you could talk to in your school building that would offer that help. I think there's also a thing where we grew up where, it was a community situation where you were helping with parents who were struggling with their children who were having behavioral problems. And I feel like in 2025, we don't really have that a lot. I think one of the things that I really loved about being in education was I was kind of that guy at work where the behavioral kids were my kids. Um, Whatever I could do to help with behavior problems, I did those things. Um, a lot of it was just about building relationship with the kids because they don't have that at home a lot of the times. A lot of these kids, their parents are working multiple jobs. Some of them are not; they can't be at home. I mean, their parents is just really education is not their focus. But what do we do as a community to help with this? Because all of our kids cannot go through life and getting all F's. And let's go ahead and go through this article really quick. And then let's go through the articles and then we'll get into this actual conversation. Okay. I want to go through, let me do this one first. I want to pull this one up first. Um, all right. So this right here, this is from uh, Rap Playlist Daily. And I've seen this on a lot of different Instagram accounts. It says student reveals he graduated with straight F's and over 400 tardies this year. The tardies, maybe there's transportation problems. Got you. Okay. Are we having conversations? Because I know that a lot of sometimes, like I said, a lot of times, sometimes there are conversations that can be had with administration where you can help, where they can help you get transportation. Or maybe your kid is just at a school that's out of their school zone where they probably should be able to be going to the school closer to home so that we're not tardy every day. It may not be the best school, but if you're encouraging education at home and you're making your children read, and I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of parents who can't read, and that's not to shame them, but that should make you want your child to be able to read even more because you struggle with reading. I've seen multiple times where parents have came into the school building and a lot of the things that were taught during like parent teacher conference, they did not know. And education has changed a lot since we were in school. And I just want to show you guys this real quick before I keep going. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. This is, I don't want to play it because it's audio in there, but it says 400 absences, 6 failed classes, still graduating. Anyone can do it. And he not lying. Anyone can do it. But then where do you go after you graduate? Because this is not a flex. And I just remember being in school, y'all. I was not the best kid in school because I had ADHD. My attention span is extremely short. Sometimes when I'm doing lives, like you guys can even tell that it's still sometimes it gets to me. Um, so I'm talking from experience. I'm not talking from a judgmental space. What do you do when you get out of school and you done failed? You got all F's. You've been tardy for 400 days. For the class, you failed 6 classes, which means you don't have the knowledge to function in everyday life. We're talking about kids who can't read. We're talking about kids who can't do basic math. One of the things that I did in my year of 3rd grade was I taught the kids how to count money. Because if you can't count nothing else, be able to count your paycheck. But I created a system called the Lay Bank, and they paid their rent, they paid their utilities, they paid for they paid water for time they went to the bathroom, they paid electricity because they had to turn the lights on and off, they paid rent for their desks, their laptops, things like that. Those were programs, and I've seen that, and I'm taking credit for that because I actually seen a guy on Instagram doing it. I wish I would have saved that guy's information because when I seen that, I said, you know what, light bulb, this is a great idea because the kids don't know how to count. And they love money. So why not teach them how to count money? That's going to encourage them to want to count money. a lot of times you see things where kids are just embarrassed because they don't know things and they've been passed on so long that they're afraid to ask questions because it makes them feel like they're stupid or they're uneducated. And so they sit through school through the entire year. They don't raise their hand. They don't get called on for nothing. They go home. They don't do homework. Hey, mom, we didn't get homework again this week when we give out homework every week. Okay. And then in the school year, you're calling and saying, hey, my son haven't had homework all school year. I haven't seen my son's grades. Um, where they at when we're giving out grade cards. We're calling for parent teacher conferences, um, and you're not showing up. And this could be a lot of schools work with you with just doing a Zoom call. They'll work with you on your time, especially if these teachers are invested in your children. And I'm just telling you from experience, a lot of these teachers will do what they can to get to you. Which one I need to call one of my parents because I'm doing tutoring this summer. But a lot of these teachers they want to help, but you have to become a part of the solution and not be a part of the problem. A lot of these kids' parents are so focused on if they hit you, hit them back. No. And I tell all my little black boys this before I left. That don't work in the real world. If John hits you out in the street and you hit him back and they see you hit him, guess who's going to jail? You. Okay? If they're reading you your rights and you don't even know what your rights are, guess what? You go to jail. They may take you falsely to jail because you don't even know what your rights are. And so I'm really coming here and in the most humblest way I know how to say, y'all, what can we do as I don't care what color you are. What can we do to help our kids not become a part of the system? Because getting all F's and 400 absences and failing 6 grades ain't it. That's not it. I'm sorry. And I would be a bad friend, a bad social media, a bad YouTuber. I don't want to say an influencer because I don't know who I'm influencing, but I'll be a bad YouTuber if I didn't say the important things. I want to pull up this video that this woman did because I thought this was very interesting. Because a lot of times when I'm doing, like when I Uber home or something like that, a lot of people understand what an IEP is. And the IEP is basically you're just accommodating the kids who have disabilities. The 504 are like behavior or health problems. So I want to listen to this and then let's get into this conversation.
The police do not care if your baby has an IEP. I know
I mean, and from the beginning, she hit it at the very beginning. The police don't care. And your son who just graduated with all F's and failed 6 classes with 400 tardies is going out into the world where these police are at. And I'm not specifically pointing out that this one particular boy that posted this, because this is a lot of kids. This is not just him. But I think there should be a mentor program at this point for this young man who just went through school and did not get a chance to have an education because he didn't have the right people around. And I'm not saying that was the parents. I'm saying even at school or even at the church that he's going to or the community center that he's going to or even the friends that he's around. No one was like, man, bro, like you ain't even doing nothing. Like where was the people at?
I just triggered some of you. Come back to me. Everybody good? Okay, now let's talk about this. The police in Brazoria County, Texas, don't care if your child has an IEP. Okay, they don't care about your child's mental health problems or their emotional disturbances or anything else
and that's not just in Brazoria County either, y'all.
They break the law. So let's talk about Peter. This story has been circulating around the greater Houston area for a couple of days now. Peter is a 17-year-old student at a Brazosport ISD high school. Peter is 17, but his parents say that he has the mentality of a 12 or 13-year-old.
Right there is, to me, it's like if you know this, there's free help out there. Are we going to the appointments? Are we at the school meetings? Are we at home saying, dude, even if you don't know how to do the homework, guess what? We have AI now. We have Google as our best friend. We have YouTube. There's so many things I've learned off of YouTube. I learned how to do graphic design on YouTube. I learned how to build websites on YouTube. So if I can learn those things, basic math, basic English, whatever your child is doing at home for homework, go on YouTube and figure this out, because you can go on here and there's a lot of things like my kids that I work with. Some of them, like, they understood patterns. So I would find something that had a song on it on YouTube and we would watch it. They like playing games. So I would find learning games to teach them the diagraphs and things like that. Like, there's tools.
Last Thursday, he was removed from his special education class and transported by Brazosport ISD to the Brazoria County Jail on assault on a public servant charges. His bond was set at $100,000. Now, Peter's parents say they initially were not able to get information on what he was being charged with, and they were withholding information because Peter was being charged as an adult. After piecing some things together, they determined that he was charged with assaulting one of his teachers. Peter's dad is like, yo, hold on. My son is 17. He has a disability. He has a low IQ.
And that's what she's saying. They don't care about that because he's 17 now. How long has he had this IEP? How long has he had this low IQ? Why are we waiting until he gets to the police to start talking about this? Because right now, and it's so funny that I'm talking about this. There was a post. I like to connect things. There was a post on a group chat, a group that was on Facebook. And this girl was on the plane just going off. I think she was like having a panic attack. And she's like, I'm on the phone with my mom right now. Let me put myself in full screen. Why in the world do we think our mom on the phone is like the cheat code to getting out of in trouble with the police? The police don't care about your mom being on the phone. Guess what? They're going to say, hey, mom, they're going to call you later and hang up the phone. And y'all is going to jail. Let that sink in while we finish this video.
Not knowing what type of trouble he's in, not knowing where he's at, and not knowing what the judge is telling him is crazy. Now, Peter's parents are like, hey, we're not disputing if he should be punished in some way if he hurt the teacher. But they are saying, damn, you're charging him as an adult and holding him in jail on a bond that we cannot afford. They also say, hey, his school has a crisis prevention team and they are trained to restrain students if necessary. The dad says it's scary for all parties involved, and he knows that it was scary for the teacher. Thanks for acknowledging that, Dad. Now,
yeah, that was great that he did acknowledge that part, to be honest. And I'm still at the space where, so this is scary for everybody. The boy is 17. And I'm not saying that the parent didn't do anything to help this. But at some point, we get to the end of the road. And we're at the end of the road with this young man right here. And this is scary to me. Like, once they get to the police department, your hands is off of this. Now you in legal battles for the rest of your life, or until you get your kid out of jail, until you give up because you can't do nothing. When were there steps we could have taken before this?
Peter's family also says that he is in trouble often at school, and he is in inpatient mental health treatment facilities every few months.
Every few months? He should be in there every week. Even once a week. I mean, once a month. Not every few.
His dad says he does not believe that his son is a criminal. He just has that mental problem, and the doctors always said that he is going to be, have violent tendencies.
I wonder, is he taking this? Does he have medication? And is he taking the medication? Because that's another problem. A lot of the times, these parents are not giving these kids medication. One, they can't afford it, which I do get that part. But then two, are we going and researching these programs that assist with these medications? And you know what? Maybe I'll go through. Maybe I will. I'm going to look up some programs. And if y'all are in the chat, like if y'all are listening to this video, if you know of any programs, put the links in the chat.
We've been working with him on that for all of his life. Now let's get into the conversation that's happening online. Now, what's been interesting to see are the number of people saying like, That teacher wrong as hell for pressing charges against that kid. They're a special education teacher. They're signed up to work in those classrooms. They know what they've signed up for.
And see, that is a lot of parents will say stuff like that, but then also what they signed up for was once it becomes out of control, when I call home, you need to pick up this phone, you need to be showing up at the school, or you need to keep your kid at home until you are able to come up here and sit with this kid, with your child, because I don't want to call them kids, to sit with your child so that you can see what's going on here, so that we come up with a plan together as the teacher, the instructor, and as the parent. If grandma got to come, grandpa got to come, auntie, uncle got to come, big cousin got to come, we as a tribe or as a community, because that's what we would tell one of the kids, the kid, I guess not a kid, the young man that I used to work with. I told him, like, you have a community, you have the nurse, you have me, you have your teachers downstairs, you have your mom, you have your sister. Like, he has a community of people that work with him. But I'm one person. If your kid don't have that, and they're having these type of problems, get your kid out of that school. There are different options that they can go to.
Some of the super oblivious ones are like, hey, they get an extra stipend. They get paid more for being in those types of classrooms. They get more training for being in those types of classrooms. So that's something that teacher should be able to deal with.
And I think at the beginning of the year, yeah, they probably are dealing with that. But by the end of the school year, we're tired. We've been dealing with the same problems every day. We've been calling home every day. We've been getting yelled at by you every day. We've been getting beat up by your kid the same day. And then because when they got home, they didn't get in trouble, they back at school doing this again tomorrow or want to get out of suspension. So again, where is the community part when it comes down to this? Because we have to connect as parents, as as mentors, as family members with our children, with our babies that are having these type of issues.
Other people are like, whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. If you're getting a chair thrown at your head, if you're getting attacked, we didn't sign up for that. Teachers did not sign up for that.
At all.
Some of these kiddos need to understand consequences, and the real world is not going to care if they have an IEP. They're saying, unfortunately, it's a difficult lesson that the child needs to learn. And other children need to learn as well. This is very interesting. I'm not saying my opinion one way or the other because I don't feel like y'all drama today. But what are y'all's thoughts? I'm so curious. Let's talk about it.
And I would love to know what you guys' thoughts are on this conversation, especially when it comes to these IEPs, y'all, and the 504s, because it's a big thing. And I see a lot of Black kids, because I work with Black kids, so I'll say that have these things, and there's no participation when it comes from home. None. They may come, you could call home, I'm going to whoop they when they get home. Then they get home, there's no whooping to happen. There's no punishment to happen. We had to literally tell some parents, unplug the video game so they can go to bed at nighttime. They never even thought about that. So like, where is the starting point here? And even for the kids that are getting ready to graduate, because like this lady said, the boy is 17, but his mind is of a 12-year-old. So he's still a baby in his mind. So what can we do as a community? I'm open to hearing things, because one thing that I do want to do is still work with kids, because I feel like that's my passion, just not in a classroom setting. But I definitely do want to work with children. I keep saying kids. I want to work with I call them kids because I call them my little baby goats. So listen, y'all, that's what I do. But I definitely want to, I'm looking into, I want to start like a program or something, because I knew when I grew up, I had a program that I used to go to called Brother to Brother, Sister to Sister. What it was a program that we went to after school. They helped us with our homework. They also encouraged us to go to college. They took us on college trips. We stayed in the dorms. We went on to like camping trips. We did stuff that's not TikTok. And, I mean, and y'all, I don't want to get into, we have all the technology. We had Facebook and what was it with the first five, the paper five, with Tom. You know what I'm talking about? We had that. Even when they cut that off, we went over to something Miente, to the Latino one. Then there was an Asian one that we went to. Like we were going to get online and talk to each other through these websites. We had Black Planet. We had a lot of different programs. So the kids may have more access to social media stuff now, but we still had to. And guess what? Our parents were able to unplug us. We were not being babysitted. My mom will cut that up in a minute. And the other thing is that when we were growing up, we had the telephone line was the internet line. So mama will unplug that telephone line real quick. I got to use the phone. So, and some of y'all remember that. Shoot, don't act like y'all don't remember. But I do want to start the conversation of where do we go from here, so that we don't have another story where one of our children say, "Hey, I graduated with all Fs. I failed 6 classes, and I have 400 tardies." Where can we go from here? I'm open to suggesting. I would love to do like an open panel where we have this conversation, because I think that it's important. Now that I'm outside of the school, I would love to do this because I think that I have the opportunity to do it. Also, to give feedback to some of the educators that I do know, to help them with the conversation and to see what we do. One thing that I did not see at the school that I worked at was a PTO. There was no parent teacher with the PTO. I forgot what PTO stands for. Parent teacher. I don't know what the O was for, but we didn't have one of those. And I remember that in Ohio we had that. My mom was actually like the PTO president in my school. So I'm going to drop this video. Next week I want to come back and I want to do like an open panel. I want to see who's interested in actually coming on and actually joining this conversation, because I feel like this is something that is super important. I don't want our kids to grow up and not know nothing, don't have good jobs. And then also, y'all, these are our next doctors and lawyers and things like that. Are we going to be able to trust a kid who had failed 6 classes, all Fs, and was late to school every day? You're not going to show up to my court date on time. You're not going to be at my doctor's appointment on time. What can we do? That's my question. All right. So y'all drop down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. And then next week, I want to set up a live. I want to do an open panel, and let's have a conversation. Let's see where this goes. All right. I love you guys. Make sure you guys drop down in the comments again, and let me know what you guys think. If you have any links to any kind of help that people can get for kids who have IEP, children who have IEPs, and 504s, or just behavior problem period. Maybe they don't have either one of those because they haven't been they haven't had their examination or whatever. But if you have anything to help, put it in the comment section, y'all. And I'll see you guys in the next one. All right. Bye, y'all.
Did it, I 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 did it, did it, you did it, I did it, you did it, I 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 did it.